These are the pillowcases that go with the sheets, that go with the blankets, that go with the comforters, that go with the shams.
Darn!
That go with the curtains.
Darn!
That go with the shower curtains. That go with the washcloth. That go with the accessories.
Darn!
That go with the bathrugs.
Darn!
That go with the towels.
Darn!
That go with everything you need for your bed and bath. That go with
The truck!
Martha Stewart's new everyday collection, exclusively at Kmart.
I'm driving.
Martha Stewart style. Kmart's low prices.
Darn! I forgot to make the bed.
Perhaps the hardest part about talking to you.
ABC.
You're watching continuing storm team coverage on Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
Good evening, I'm Reed Yaden. The Kentuckiana area remains under a flash flood watch for the remainder of the overnight hours, and there is a chance of additional rain developing during the overnight hours as Kentuckiana residents deal with record flooding and figure out what they're going to do to put their lives back together. Join us tonight at 11 for a special one-hour edition of Our News.
Mike's waited for all his life until he finds out who she really is.
I don't think I can see her anymore.
Too expensive?
And all new Spin City ABC Tuesday.
Good evening, I'm Reed Yaden. Kentuckiana continues to deal with the after effects of nearly a foot of rainfall. Late information in, the Salt River at Shepherdsville will crest in about the next 2 hours at the highest level since 1964. Next, we have Doppler radar showing rain in southern Kentucky. It will move into the Louisville area sometime between 2 and 3 a.m., possibly as much as an additional half-inch of rain by dawn tomorrow morning. Join us tonight for a one-hour edition of Our News at 11.
Hey, sick of burger and fry combos? Then try
Spike Lays.
Wow, Daffy Duck! You're the greatest.
Thanks. Take a tick.
Sure, Daffy. Just need some ID.
Are you serious? How many big cartoon stars come into the store?
Checks are a pain, but your bank has a better way, the Visa Check Card. And if your ATM card has a Visa logo on it, you've got one. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted.
You're despicable.
Visa Check Card works just like a check, only better.
What a maroon.
I blame my father's death on the thin rope. My grandfather's too. In a tightrope walking, a wider rope is more stable. The crowds, though, they want thin. But I tell you, wider is better.
Introducing the new Wide Track Grand Prix. Its wheels are set wide for better balance, tighter grip.
I tell you from experience, più largo e meglio.
The new Wide Track Grand Prix from Pontiac. Wider is better.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 11 from the leader in television news, Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, and Ken Schultz, Storm Team Weather. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. You're watching continuing Storm Team coverage on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
The heavy rains may have stopped, but the storm left behind an immense challenge to recover and make homes and communities livable again. In the wake of the flood of '97, filthy water and even fire threatens homes and lives.
From Sky 11, we see roads across Indiana and Kentucky disappear beneath several feet of water. And with every flooded highway, every swamped neighborhood, every evacuee pulled to safety, we wonder, when will things get back to normal?
And good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Swan.
And I'm Gary Rodemeyer. We're going to ask you during this newscast to please pay attention to the bottom of your screen during the newscast for school closings. First tonight, we're about to begin day 3 of the 97 flood with the water still rising and rescue workers exhausted. The heavy rain ended early this morning, but many homes and businesses remain uninhabitable, and this is just the beginning of the recovery.
Tonight, we have the latest on the flooding from the hardest hit areas in our area. We'll also be telling you about the schools and businesses that are closed, and you'll hear what's being done to clean up all this mess. We begin with dramatic pictures from this very long day of the 97 flood.
It was a storm that had people clinging together, looking for help. Homes once thought to be warm and secure were now wet and dangerous. In the Confederate Acres subdivision, they were packing their bags and fleeing to higher ground. The foul brown floodwater had people on the run. Sky 11 shows you the extent of the muddy invader. Fishing boats became fishers of men and women and children whose homes were uninhabitable.
The water is absolutely of no help. It's sad but true.
Also from Sky 11, we watch an unbelievable sight. Fire devours this house. It's surrounded by water, but the flames continue to leap from the roof. Ironically, firefighters are rendered helpless by the water that surrounds the home. With the hydrant submerged, they can only watch the building burn.
As the rain stopped, people gathered in the chilly aftermath of the storm, feeling helpless and waiting for assistance. The saviors and protectors came in big military trucks to shuttle people to safety. The Kentucky National Guard brought people out of the neighborhoods that had become swamps.
That's a hopeless case right there.
One man records the high waters on home videotape. He watches drivers race into the intersection at Peabody and Goldsmith. The cars stall, and neighbors have to help them push out.
The storm did not favor one state. Signs marking the high water went up in southern Indiana, too. But here in Clarksville, cars ignore the warning.
And again, in this picture from Sky 11, one man wades in waist-deep water, striking out in solitary defiance against the elements. But he's not alone. Tens of thousands of people are with him, wading through the flood of 97.
A day for tragedy, a day for heroes, a day for drama. 7 Jefferson County Public Schools will be closed tomorrow. All other Jefferson County Public Schools will, however, be open and operating on a 1-hour delay. We are told that students and parents should plan the morning as if it were a snow delay schedule. Now, these are the 7 schools that will be closed. They include Fairdale Elementary, Fairdale High School, Lassiter Middle School, and Coral Ridge Elementary School. Also, Miners Lane Elementary, South Park Tap, and the Auburndale Elementary School.
The Early Childhood Jump Start program will be open and operating on a 1-hour delay. However, if your child attends the half-day program, transportation to school will not be provided. There will be transportation home for the half-day Jump Start classes. Now, this is exactly the same as the snow schedule, so you should go by this. The school system says that the 1-hour delay is for safety reasons.
Hour delay because of the darkness. We are concerned about the bus drivers being out on the roads driving, about the students being out moving to and from school in the darkness, and so we feel like the 1-hour delay will give us a little bit more time to move towards daylight and make sure that the children have a better opportunity to get safely to and from their bus stops.
And once again, all but 7 Jefferson County schools are open tomorrow, and all are operating on a 1-hour delay. If you live in a flooded area and your child goes to school, a school that is open tomorrow, but you can't get your child there, the school system says they will work with parents to excuse those absences. There are also Catholic and private schools closed tomorrow, and we'll be showing you those at the bottom of your screen throughout this newscast.
And we have a note now for drivers with the contract bus service. Drivers must report to Fairdale High School tomorrow to pick up their buses. If you have any questions, you can call the contract bus service at 367-0577.
And many Ford workers have called our newsroom tonight wondering about their shift. From this videotape, it's easy to see why you are concerned about going to work at Ford in the morning. Here's what we know at this hour. The number 2 shift workers at the Fern Valley Road Assembly Plant do not need to report to work. Number 2 shift production and support employees must report to work on Tuesday. The number 3 shift will operate tomorrow, and all number 1, 2, and 3 shift salaried maintenance and cleanup employees, I'm sure they're needed, should report at normal times tomorrow.
Now, the water may have stopped falling from the sky, but that hasn't stopped it from rising on the ground. In fact, it's moving around, threatening areas that have been so far untouched.
A number of roads, many that you will need to travel on, are closed. River Road at 3rd Street is just one of them, and that's where we find our Jeff Lifson tonight. Jeff, when I came in, the 3rd Street ramp was still open, but I understand that is about to be closed.
Yes, surprise, surprise. It has been closed, Melissa. Closed about 15 minutes ago. If the Great Steamboat Race were held tomorrow instead of the Derby time, there'd be an extra lane for another competitor, maybe the Mississippi Queen. That's how quickly the river has risen. As a matter of fact, earlier today it was rising at about a foot an hour. So much so that you can barely see the tops of the street lamps that are right along the boardwalk or the wharf there. They are covered, almost covered up with water. And down on 3rd Street, if you look down to my right, you can see the shimmer and glimmer of those lights underneath the overpass there. That's right by the Galt House. That is 3rd Street. The water isn't approaching. It's actually lapping over 3rd Street at that point. So the authorities have decided to close down the 3rd Street ramp. That's actually River Road down that direction. They've decided to close down the 3rd Street ramp. And the drill for tomorrow is going to go as follows. If you're coming westbound on I-64, you can't get off here, but you can get off a little bit further westbound down I-64 on the 9th Street ramp. That's the expected commuter's paradise, I guess, in this case, because this is a very, very strong artery for commuters coming downtown to work. So, Gary, Melissa, that's the reason why the river water is rising so quickly. It's already lapped up over River Road and 3rd Street here, so they're keeping folks away from this part of the driving commute tomorrow and to ensure their safety. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff Lifson, at a closed 3rd Street ramp tonight.
This just in now from Bullitt County. The DES there. Residents of Shepherdsville and Lebanon Junction are under a boil water advisory at this hour before using or drinking any water. Be sure to boil it in those communities. Our extensive coverage of Flood 97 continues once again in the morning. The News Channel will bring you all the information you need about morning road conditions and school closures on Good Morning Kentuckiana beginning at 5 a.m. with Barry and Rachel early in the morning. Governor Paul Patton declared a state of emergency for all of Kentucky yesterday, and today he was touring the state assessing the storm damage.
Patton arrived